The old Crowhurst Manor had always been a place of whispered tales and eerie silences, but for Eleanor, it was home. She had inherited the sprawling estate from her great-uncle, a man she had scarcely known, but whose portrait hung somberly in the hallway. On this fateful night, the atmosphere was particularly oppressive, as though the house itself held its breath. Eleanor's sleep was shattered by an unworldly sound that echoed through the corridors, a noise that seemed to rise from the very bones of the manor. Her heart drummed a frantic rhythm as she pushed back her covers and slipped into her dressing gown. The floorboards creaked beneath her feet as she tiptoed towards the source of the disturbance, the attic. The attic door, ancient and weathered, loomed ahead like the mouth of a monstrous cave. She hesitated, her hand trembling on the doorknob. Taking a deep breath, she turned it slowly, the metal cold under her fingers. The door swung open with a groan, revealing a dark void punctuated by long-forgotten relics swathed in dust. For a moment, all was silent. Eleanor's eyes struggled to pierce the darkness. She clutched at the pendant around her neck, the only tangible connection to her great-uncle, and stepped inside. The air was thick with neglect and the faint scent of decay. Her torchlight flickered, casting grotesque shadows that twisted and danced along the walls. Her breath caught in her throat as she listened intently. There it was again, a rustling, followed by a low, almost imperceptible whisper. It seemed to emanate from an old chest that sat in the far corner, its edges gnawed by time. Eleanor approached cautiously, every nerve ending alive with dread. As she knelt down, the sense of unseen eyes watching her grew unbearable. She lifted the lid of the chest with painstaking slowness. Inside, amidst a collection of moth-eaten garments and brittle papers, lay a diary, its leather cover marred by age. She reached for it, her fingers brushing the faint lettering embossed on the cover, Harold Crowhurst, her great-uncle's name. Flipping it open, she felt a chill run down her spine as she read the first entry dated decades ago, describing nocturnal visits from an entity that haunted the manor. Suddenly, a shadow flitted past the corner of her vision. She spun around, but the attic was empty, or so it seemed. Breathing hard, she realized the entity her great-uncle had written about was still here, lurking, waiting. The manor's secrets weren't just history. They were part of its living, breathing fabric. Eleanor had awakened something ancient and sinister, and it was far from done with her.